Lime sir, welcome. Warm welcome, sir.
Yeah, good day, everyone.
Yeah. Great to see you with full energy in spite of accident and other things. Great.
Okay, I'm all right. Fortunate.
Great. Yes, sir. Khade sir, just introduce sir and we'll proceed.
Good morning all. For this session we have great personality Mr. Vijay Limaye sir. Limaye sir is a founder and CEO of BL Engineers Miraj. He has a wide range of experience in various fields about 28 years. He has started his career with Larsen & Toubro, Swissgear Division, Powei and Premium Automobiles Limited, Kurla from August 1976 to October 1980. In January 1981, he established VL Engineers with activities of maintenance and electrical contracting with the field experience. He was appointed on the panel of New India Assurance Company Limited, which is the lead insurance company of Western region for electrical inspections. He has visited Belgium, Holland for the inspection of the power plant in 1999. He has presented various seminars on energy efficient system design and harmonics. He is the pioneer of introducing fuselage technology in India. He is appreciated for the excellence in the field of electrical engineering by the Institution of Engineers India, Kolhapur chapter. So I heartily welcome you, sir. Now I request
Thank you.
Lime sir to start the session.
Thank you. Now, I need your screen. I'll share my screen now. Presentation. Is it visible?
Yeah, sir. Make it full screen just. It's visible. Yes. Make it full screen. Go to slide mode. Correct. Just once again click that slideshow. Great. Yes,
fine.
Very nice.
I think
yes,
first of all, I hope that.
Sir, some disturbance in that line actually. Please correct it.
Can you listen me properly now, sir?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Should I start now?
Yeah, please, sir. Please proceed.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thanks all for joining this electrical related seminar organized by SIT. I thanks Coach sir and your entire team for such activities. Really, such activities are very essential. So, with this, I shall start my presentation. I have been given the subject of energy conservation in electrical. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about energy conservation, it is a self-defined system that is to conserve the energy. What is energy? The standard answer, but this is the misconcept in the industries also, because I am in this field working around about 40 years. When we talk about energy, always industry asks about, sir, mera bill zyada aa raha hai. Always they are cautious about the electricity billing because it is directly related with your expenses. Finally, any energies get converted into electricity. It may be your boiler, it may be pneumatic energy, your HVAC energy, but final effect is seen on the bill. So there is a many times this some misconception, or always when we talk about energy, everybody or a particular industry observe that they always focus on electrical bill. Let us see what are means by the different sources or resources of the energy. Now, when we talk about energy, it may be in form of different resources like manpower, input cost, thermal, coal, steam, pneumatic. Even sir rightly said HVCs. Actually, I should mention that. I will correct it. Thanks, sir. And even your time. See, energy conservation means it is a total concept. It is not only related with electrical system. Yes, electrical is one of the part. But suppose if you are um, making some production, say 1,000 units of some product, and you need 100 people. If you can do that same production in less than anything less than 100 manpower, say it may be 95 or 90, so it is a saving in your manpower. That is also part of energy conservation. Input cost, it may be by means of purchase, by means of process adjustment, thermal, coal, steam, pneumatic, these are the different resources, even HVAC also. Time, suppose if you require, if you take 10 minutes to complete the job, and now if you can complete the same job in say 9 minutes or anything less than 10 minutes, that is a saving of time, which is directly going to increase your productivity. So that is also a part of energy. There are a lot of angles which are to be studied to go for optimum efficiency of the system. The examples are like to reduce the specific consumption of the product. See, when we talk about energy or energy conservation, what it may be, always you should be able to define your specific cost. What is meant by specific cost? Specific cost means your energy. Now, just I told you that all energy finally it affects or it is related in your electrical bills. So unless until you define your specific cost of your product, for example, say take the example of spinning mill where you are manufacturing of yarn. They always talk in terms of units per kg. My consumption is specific consumption of my product is 3.8 units per kg of yarn or 4.2 units per kg of yarn. The yarn sizes and parameters are different, but for that particular they define some specification. If you consider steel plant, they say that my product, the cost is around about say 570 units per ton, 580 units per ton. For casting, they said my unit comes to 120 units per ton. For some process industry, they say it is 150 per ton. Or in some milk or such product, they always say number of XYZ units per 1 kiloliter of fluid, that is maybe chemicals or what it may be. Accordingly, you have to decide the specific consumption to reduce the required manpower for the same product. Yes, that we have discussed. To produce more in the existing manpower. See, this is another thing. If you can produce 1,000 jobs with the help of 100 people, either you produce 1,000 job in less than 100 people, or a with the same manpower of 100, if you can produce more than 1,000, it is also part of that is energy conservation means optimization of the cost. See, anything saving, it is related with the energy. To produce more in the existing manpower, to reduce the process time without disturbing quality norms. Now we came across such type of systems in pharma and chemical process industry. They say that for this particular cycle, our process takes around about 17 hours, and this much load is continuously working. And for one batch of this say 2 kiloliter or 5 kiloliter uh, that liquid or a chemical, this much consumption is needed. Now their R&D or they're discussing, always they're in the process to recheck and to modify the process. Now sometimes they come that now we have changed the process. Now with the same process can be completed instead of 17 hours. Now we are completing in 15 hours. So that 2 hour saving, it is an increase of the productivity, even reducing the product cost. To adopt different technologies to reduce rejection, that is also one of the important points. Many times it is discussed that our rejection rate is around say 6%, 5%. We have to reduce it. Then different parameters or different technologies are adopted. But if you can reduce the rejection, again it is the part of conservation. To develop the manufacturing process to achieve anything from the above, or you do anything, if you can achieve anything from that above list, yes, you can consider that it is a part of conservation. Just a minute, I am trying to go for next page. Next page का येत नाही रे.
Just
Yes, ala sir, ala. Energy conservation is such activity which is implemented after starting of the industry. One agency conducts, of course, see, first of all, whatever I am writing, it's a general format. It is not like that I am against the energy audits or nothing like that. Don't get misinterpreted. You can, I will come to that conclusion later. Which is implemented after starting of the industry. One agency conducts energy conservation in that industry and suggests some changes in basic electrical infrastructure. Those are practically possible, but sometimes suggestions are theoretical, but it is very difficult to execute it. It requires major reshuffling, for which shutdown or for some period is recommended, which is not feasible. Moreover, the payback period is not justifying. In other words, it can be said that previous mistakes can be rectified up to certain limits. See, what happened? The concept of energy conservation is something related like that. You start the industry, you call some experts, you carry out the energy conservation, then he will suggest you do this, do that, and he can prove. And yes, definitely you are going to, he will give the result, and you will achieve some saving. Now, sometimes the technical expert suggests some process changes in the process, but to change the process, that vessel reshuffling and all the things, since it's a continuous process, it may not be possible. Many times they said that your load center is different, your transfer location is different. If you can change the transfer from this place to this place, it will better. So sometimes it is not possible. So always, as a designer, as my part, I always say that prevention is better than cure. Hence, it is always better to study the total project, that is type of industry, technical details of machinery, production process, whether it is a continuous process or not, working environment of the industry. Accordingly, the design concept has to be developed. Another important rule is different things to different industries. See, that is, there can't be a thumb rule which can be adopted to one and every industry. It must be treated as a case study which varies from industry to industry. For that, I will give one example. This designing, what I consider, it is like a Ayurvedic practitioner's job. Because in Ayurveda, he checks up Nadi, then he said, which is your Prakriti, Pitta Prakriti, Kapha Prakriti, Vata Prakriti, what is the season, which medicine will be suitable in this season. So accordingly, we have to work out. It's not like that. For it's a simple painkiller. Whether it may be at any place, this painkiller is going to work. So that is a different part again. So the concept or a design systems which are adopted in a particular industry, I will never recommend or I will never do the copy paste in another industry, because total things are changed. Every industry, every project is to be considered as an independent case study. Now we will move to next page. How to design the energy efficient electrical system. See, basically I'll be focusing more on electrical. There are a lot of pneumatic system. If we consider pneumatic system, the most costliest system is pneumatic system. That is your air. It's very costliest. Then turbo is your steam. That is also very low efficiency. First of all, to study the overall layout of the industry, approach road, and accordingly to fix the point of supply from electricity supply agency. As per the new directives, it should be nearer to the main entrance or to provide the gate near to the metering room. They say that your metering should be near to the entrance. Sometimes it is not practically possible, but if we are having the access road, we can provide a gate for that particular area. You can consider that is a entrance for the metering. Now to fix the electrical load center, this has to be decided considering site layout, machinery layout, and their electrical load. With this tentative electrical load center has to be marked on the layout. See, when we talk about mechanical load center, what we say, it's a some product or some material with a say length of 6 feet. The center cannot be at the 3 feet, because if you say take the key holder, that round portion is always heavy, so your load center varies. So how we decide load center, we try to balance it. If that object is get balanced, we say it is a mechanical load center. Accordingly, to optimize the cost, we have to work out we have to calculate the electrical load center of that project. If you can work out about the electrical load center, try to provide your distribution transformer there to that, so automatically your distribution cost will be reduced. One thing just I would like to mention, that our all losses are I square R. It is always related to currently related. If you consider 11 kV network, 1000 kVA current, 11 kV, it is 52.5 ampere. For 22 kV, it is 26.25 ampere. For 33 kV, it is 17.5 ampere. But if you consider at 415 volt, that is LT side, for 1000 kVA, the current will be 1390 ampere. So if you consider the I square R at 11 kV, 22 or 30, that is HV side, and LV side losses are very high. So if you provide your transformer out of load center, your LT distribution network will be extended. The length will be more, so you will be flowing more current through your LT cables, and you will be facing a tremendous losses that you have to face. Now, one thing another I would like to highlight on this point. See, when we calculate the consumption, the original equipment manufacturer, he designed some system. You are paying for that production or for that machinery or for that equipment. It is designed and defined by the manufacturer. So if you want to modify it, after few working of some time with your R&D, you can modify and you can try to reduce. But as a thumb rule, you can assume that that is their job. You receive it as it is. But the major opportunities regarding our layout and reactive losses, cable losses, that which we can focus on that. Now to see whether the point of supply is nearer to electrical load center. If so, then the transformer center can be adjusted to metering room. But if it is far away, then to locate transformer near to the load center, which shall be practically feasible area as far as accessibility is concerned. Here, we can have either outdoor or indoor type transformer substation. Now, the HT metering kiosks are indoor type with incoming and outgoing HT cables. So, it is very convenient to go for indoor HT switchgear panels along with the transformer with HT cable termination box for incoming cables. For outdoor type substation and transformer yard, the elevation and aesthetic may requires to compromise, but this can be adjusted in case of indoor substation. Now, here I would like to focus that for outdoor, you have seen the switchyard, a huge switchyard, say 6 meter by 20 meters or 12 meters by 30 meters, something like that. You have seen in many industries. But with the indoor substation, there's an indoor breaker. The total single breaker consists of CT, 3 PTs, relay panel, everything is a composite system. So you need not require to spend that time. Again, this is a conservation of land. So that land can be utilized for a different purpose. You can make it very compact. So that is also one of the aspect for the our design. Now study of supply system. Today, due to power crisis, the industries are facing voltage fluctuation problems, and this varies from area to area. Hence, considering the fluctuations in the electrical supply in that particular area, one should go for voltage stabilizers. The input of the stabilizer shall be decided according to the voltage fluctuation in that network, which will assure you the output voltage within 2% of the rated. Of course, this is a study of supply. This is focusing for particular equipment or instrument or some machinery. If you are having a CNC machines, then the manufacturer will recommend that you provide stabilizers for that. Now, if you consider talk about the stabilizers, we have conventional stabilizers, that is servo voltage stabilizer. There are two types of stabilizers. One is a balanced type, another is unbalanced type. What is meant by balanced type? Balanced type means three dimmerstat are mounted on a common shaft. A servo motor is mounted on the common shaft of the three dimmerstats, and with the mean value of three-phase supply, RMS value of three-phase average, they try to correct the voltage. The voltages get corrected. What happens? Suppose there is unbalance in R and Y and B phase. Suppose you are getting, say, instead of 240 volts, you are getting 245, 248 and 241. This difference is going to remain same at the output side. You will not get a balanced voltage because you are sensing or three dimmers that are controlled by the single servo motor. So there is another type of servo stabilizer which is considered as an unbalanced type. So there are three different dimmerstat with three servo motor. The individual phase correction is sensed there and correction is done. So instead, irrespective of any unbalance in the input voltage, your output voltage will be 415, 415, 415 or rather 240, 240, 240 plus minus hardly 1 or 2%. So the selection of proper equipment is also very important. So in this thing, in this situation, we always recommend to go for the unbalanced type voltage stabilizer. Now, there are some UPS in some systems. You need only stabilizers, but you did not require UPS. Suppose in case of interruptions, you can again restart the machines. Here we have came some practical problems. Let us take some example that your input voltage is, comes to say 318 volts condition and your output voltage is 415. So from 380 to 415 you are getting balance type 415 volt from the stabilizer. So what is the boost voltage? It is 80 to 40, 80 to 420 plus next 15. So 35 volts are boosted by your stabilizer and you are getting balanced voltage. Now consider that there is a supply break, failure of supply, and DG starts automatically and changeover occurs. Now when changeover occurs, your supply will be restored at 415 volts. The stabilizer will take some time to stabilize that voltage because that servo motor will sense, it will move, it will reduce the voltage, but it will take time. But meantime, what will happen at 415 volt, your servo stabilizer will give the output of 35 volts plus. So initially you may get a 450 volts. This is in case of generator. Suppose if there is a supply, some feeder changes, sometimes it happens in the substation due to some criticality or some power shortage, something like that. Suppose one, due to low voltage or a overloading of that feeder, that substation has stripped that feeder and reshuffled that feeder through different feeder, means output, and whether there you are getting better voltage, instead of there you will be getting say 435 voltage, something like that. In that case you may get the initially 465 volt and again equipment get damaged. So there is, for particular such type of application, that is for a medical instrument which costs some CNC machines, instead of conventional stabilizer you can go for solid state stabilizer, what we say digital stabilizer, whose correction time is hardly 20 milliseconds, which is very sensitive. So the selection of equipment is also very important in my opinion. Let us move to next slide. Now let us come to the distribution system. Actually this slide I got interchange. That is from my side, sorry for that. Distribution system. The use of new generation machineries and equipment integrated with automation needs the stable power. Hence the use of OLTC in the distribution transformer become necessary. The selection of proper range can be defined after studying the voltage conditions of that area. OLTC means on-load tap changer. Other normal transformers are OCTC, that is off circuit tap changers. So if there is a tremendous voltage variation which your system can't sustain, and if you want to change the tap, you have to switch off the transformer from HV side, that is the offload. Then you have to just change the, बंद कर बाबा, तू बाहेर जाऊन बोल नंतर, sorry, change the tap, then start the transformer again. In that case, always there is a one shutdown to change the tap, which is practically not possible. Hence, OLTC is on load. OLTC is controlled by the AVR, automatic voltage regulator. So you can control the voltage accordingly. The selection of proper range, see in normal OLTC you can have a 9 tap or even a 17 step position. It can be 1.25% or 2.5%. So there are a lot of concept for the selection of it, but widely you have to consider the current situation of that area and you select the proper range. The normal range you can consider total 20%. It can be minus 10 plus 10 or minus 7.5 plus 12.5 or plus 7.5 minus 12.5, depends upon your location. Now let us move to new standards of the transformer. The new standard is IS 1180, clearly specified the different losses at 50% and 100% load for the efficiency level right from 1 to 5. See, when we talk about new IS 1180, what was the previous IS? It was 2026. IS 2026 was the previous IS standard. Still it exists for the any non-standard transformer which is not covered in 1180. In that previous IS, the losses was mentioned as the losses shall be mutually acceptable or accepted by the user and the supplier. Means previously what used to happen, we used to get the offers of transfer right from 20 lakhs to 15 lakhs. So client used to say no sir, 15 lakh में मिलता है, 5 लाख क्यों extra डाल दूं? But ये 5 lakh, he has to spend at 5 lakhs. He used to recover that 5 lakhs within 2 or 3 years by way of losses. So there was no standard Fortunately, in this new IS standard, they have clearly specified it is in mention 50% and 100% load losses. So whenever you go for the testing, you take the loss. Previously, we used to consider no load loss, load loss. Now they only talk about 50% and 100%. And let me tell you honestly, the losses of this new range of transformers are comparatively very low with compared to the previous one. Very low losses. So in my existing project, just I can give some examples. The projects which I did more than 25 years. Now we try to work out, and we have seen that if you see the current losses of that transformers, older transformers, which are working in the system for more than 25 years in the service, and if you see, if you replace the transformer by IS1180, the payback comes in 2.5 years. Of course, it's meant for continuous industry, continuous processor, 20 around the clock running industry. But this is the results of the new IS. So let us move to next slide. Now let us move to motors. Of course, before moving to motors, I'll just focus a few time on that transformer. When we selection of transformer, just I will take the review of the what are the type of transformers available, because there are certain rules regulation which have to follow, which is given in the our I rules. In our I rule, it is said that the oil field transfer can be put on the ground level. You cannot put in the basement. Oil field transformer you cannot put in the basement. Even you cannot put on the multi-floor, that is first floor or something like that. Why? Considering the safety, because if in case of explosion, the oil may get fire, catch fire, and accident will happen. So in that type of application, we have to go for dry type transformer. So it particularly, if you see the malls, if you see the huge commercial complex, all utility systems are -1 or -2 floor. So there, the system remains same, but technology of transformer, type of transfer get changed. Instead of oil field transfer, you have to go for this dry type transformer. There is one development, just I would like to highlight that a new transformer has been introduced, that is a vegetable based oil, whose flash point is around more than 350 degree. So in our Maharashtra only, our PWD has approved as an alternative technology to replace the dry type transformer. See, it is always said that the reliability of oil field transformer is better than dry type. It's a comparison when we compare two technologies. So in basement, if you go, don't, if you are not allowed to use oil type transformers, you have to go for dry type transformer. Now, if you consider the reliability and if you want to go for oil type transformer, yes, you can go with this vegetable, this oil. This is different. Ester oil, they say. Ester oil based transformer, you can use. Now let us move to motors. The motors of the current generations are more efficient than those of previous generation. See, in our total development, IT sector development or a automation is going far ahead. Similarly, there are a lot of developments going in our electrical engineering. That is what we have seen in the transformer IS1180. Similarly, the developments in the motors efficiency optimization is always going on. Now, hence it is always recommended to go for motors of new generation. Now this IS standard has the EF1, EF2, EF3, EF4. They have come with the super efficiency motor. Even for higher range, the super efficiency motors are available. The use of old, that is used means second-hand motor, what you say, or old motor is not justified. Hence, do not use rewound motor, as 1% unbalance in rewinding causes 5% loss in motor efficiency. See, Rewinding in conservation, it is not recommended. If you, but it is not required that you need to scrap the motor. There are some authorized rewinders authorized by the manufacturers. If you give that motors, then you are assured about the similar efficiency. Otherwise, the local rewinder, you cannot expect that thing. With a lot of factor, because see, for 10 HP motor, one manufacturer has came with some different type of 2.85 mm. You will never get this type of wire, that diameter, because it is manufactured or get it manufactured by that motor manufacturer from his vendor. So you have to get it rewound with the authorized their agent or a service center where they are getting coils from that manufacturer. Just I am adding this information for your knowledge. Hence, the motor is to be prevented by means of providing optimum protection to prevent it before burning. As various types of motor protection relays are available. The main cause of motor burning is single phasing. That is failure of one fuse out of three. So to avoid single phase, use of fuseless technology will be the better option. See, when we say prevention is better than uh, cure, so accordingly, you should take the adequate precaution to avoid your motor from getting burning. With the use of proper protection systems and proper protective relays, you can do it. Single phasing. This single phasing is a common phenomenon, a failure of one fuse. So in industry now fuse has been getting obsolete. So use of fuseless technology is advisable. Even the replacement of old motors with lower efficiency by new higher efficiency is justified considering low payback period. I'll give an example of 150 HP motor, that is 110 kW. The efficiency we have worked out, it was very low means around 67%. The new motor of 100 kW comes to around about nearby to 95%. If you consider the payback period, it's a continuous running industry. The payback period was less than 5 months. So friends, there is a huge business for old motor replacement, huge business. So let us move to the so that's why I mentioned even the replacement of old motors with lower efficiency by new higher efficiency is justified considering the low payback period. See, in my opinion, if any motor more than 40 HP with around say 20 years back, and if you consider the current motor efficiency, if you can work out the efficiency of that, some meters are available, you can work out the efficiency tentative. The payback period will never be more than 1 year. So let us move to next slide. Now heaters. Now when we talk about heaters, use of electric heaters in any industry is hardly justified. Hence, some different technologies are to be adopted. In our industry, sugar kettles are used instead of electrical heaters. Thermic fluid system shall save a lot of energy. Then heaters means if you consider ovens, then gas fired ovens, oil fired ovens, indirect heating. So this type of heating, this or that what I have mentioned is thermic fluid heating systems. That is a indirect with a proper. If you design the system, this can be the better alternative for heaters. Except some particular application, electrical heaters are not justified. So development in different type of technology, thermic technology is essential. We have to adapt the new technologies for that. Now AC drives. For variable speed application, AC drives are used. Industry, instead of two-speed motor, single speed motor with AC drive shall give the better result. See, in the previous old machines,
Sir, audio lost. No. Hello, Limia sir.
because
Limia sir.
bola sir,
I think audio lost for last some 5-10 seconds. Some issue with network, your network.
sorry. I will start again. Now am I audible now, sir?
Now it's perfect, sir. Please, please.
Okay, should I start from AC drives?
No, from heaters. Heater is okay. AC drives, correct. Heater is
AC
what?
drive.
AC drives.
Yeah. Heaters, I will sum up the heater. Electrical heating systems are hardly justified. It's the costliest energy. Hence, the alternative technology, that is a gas-fired or a oil-fired or a thermal fluid systems, are recommended, which will be cost-effective as far as energy is concerned. Now, when we move to AC drives, that is a variable speed drives used in the industry. I came across some applications in particularly old machines. They used I came across many machines which is having two-speed motors. Technical words we say double star delta motors, two pole motor and four pole motor. There are six terminal, three upper, three lower side. If you give three wires to upper terminal, your motor speed will be high speed motor, two pole. If you give supply to lower terminal and short, make a star at upper side, you will get four pole motor. So, but the efficiency of that motor was very low. But for that different of requirement of that speed, they use for they adopted two-speed motor. Now this is not required. Now you can go for VFDs. You can get any speed. So now two-speed. So in the old machines where two speeds motor were used, you can replace it by VFDs. So this is a good application again. Motor with AC drive shall give the better result, as AC drive has got soft start facility by default. See, everything many times it is considered the AC drive is only used for a power saving. Power saving, yes, it is one of the aspect, but there is also another aspect that if you see the ID fan, FD fans, the diameter of the impellers are so high that the starting torque is very tremendous. That motor needs to start more than 2 to 3 minutes it takes, and your star delta starter doesn't work. They used to go for dual starter previously when there was not a sufficient technology. Now, in that case, many times such incidents I have came across due to heavy torque, that shearing of the shaft, that motor used to run and impeller is get isolated, then the shearing of the shaft used to happen. So the usage of VFD increases for IDFD fan, as VFD has got the default facility of soft start. So you can adjust your RAM time. So basically VFD is V by F. Your torque is inversely proportional to F and proportional to V. So V by F with constant, you will get the smooth speed and good torque control. So now I came across many discussions that sir, now we have decided to provide VFD for our all motors. Again, this is also one of the stupid thing. See, every motor is not a power saving opportunity. That you have to study. Another one important aspect I would like to highlight, that if you consider, you see the catalog of the motor, the conventional motor, that is a, let me be irrespective of efficiency. If you ask for the motor suitable for VFD, there is a separate range. The motor efficiency remains same, motor remains same, but the bearings are insulated bearings. See, when you go for VFD, there is going to be the power quality problem, that is a generation of fifth harmonic. So there are a lot of, these are different things. That is a different subject. So today there's no necessity to discuss on that. But considering on that thing, the heating gets generated in the motors. So the different type of motors are used. Many times I came across that with the same motor that they changed the VFD, and they then started troubling that that motor has burned twice the time because motor is getting overheated. So just keep it in mind, for VFD application, selection of motor is also totally different. The bearings are insulated bearing, so it is a magnetically cut. And what are the opportunities? The saving. Now, if you take one water pump, say water pump of 40 HP, many times water pumps are the most vulnerable which can be used or a application for VFD. See what happens. The selection of water pump depends upon your flow and your head. Suppose if you have, if you require say 500 liters per second or 500 liters per minute, and your head is say 20 meters. See, you cannot get the pump which can match your exact requirement, which will give the output of 500 liters per minute with the head of 20 meters. Then you go for the, which is, this is 400. Next is 750 or 800 or 600. You go for 600 output. The head, one is 15 meter and then 30 meters. You go for 30-meter head. So always the manufacturer's data and our requirement may not match, but we have to go for that particular equipment. In that case, what we do, we start the 40 HP pump and then we throttle the valve. Throttling means we control the output. See, we are giving the input of 40 HP, that is 30. I'm putting the input of 30 kilowatt. I'm throttling some 5 to 7 kilowatt or a 10 kilowatt, and I'm discharging the water which is equivalent to less than 30 kilowatt. These are the best opportunity. So if you provide the VFD or the water pump, if you control the speed, see, just I will elaborate. Your discharge in the cube of your speed. So there is a drastical opportunity to save the power in pumps. Another thing I would like to highlight as far as these energy audits are concerned. See, fortunately, I got the opportunity to witness lot of energy audits did by the very expert people, and those people has taught me a lot. Even our coach sir is also one of the energy auditor certified. So there are a lot of things which we can learn from coach sir also. So I came across one beautiful example. They are having one pump, so they are gone for the expansion. They need more water output, so they put another pump. They are gone for another expansion. Accordingly, I don't know, don't remember the HP. It may be for 50 HP or something else, but it was a bigger pump. They used to run 5 motors at a time. When they conduct audit, that energy auditor was a very intelligent and a very knowledgeable senior fellow. He has concluded, phone silent lakar. He has concluded that, and he has calculated, taken the graph, and nobody has seen that. Just in the mind, yeah, I want more output. I have to add additional pump to standardize 50, 50, 55 pumps. He proved that the output of 3 pump was equivalent to output of 5 pump, which was sufficient. See, and what he has concluded, due to frictional loss, the efficiency, see, output, 1 pump, second pump, third pump, fourth pump, fifth pump, it comes to again similar to 3 pump. He has worked out that graph. He has taken a lot of effort and just suggested that you keep your two pumps switched off, because that time it's an old story of say around 94, 95. So that time drives were not popular or not, just they have introduced in the India that time. So instead of 5 pump, only 3 used to run with the same output, because nobody was having pressure gauge, nobody was having flow meter. Just with the manual judgment, that time we used to do that thing. So these are the such type of opportunities, or see, these all mistakes can be rectified in these audits. Now let us move to starters. Normally we use dual starters up to 10 HP, 15 HP and ASD for the further range. The new trend is to use soft starter instead of ASD soft starters. It enhances the life of the mechanical parts. See, when we talk about energy, energy means it may be anything. Na? Suppose if there is a 50 HP or 100 HP motors which is used as a prime mover for some equipment, with the ball mill or something like that. Of course, there is one mechanical gearbox. The reduction may be say 40 to 1 or 50 to 1 or 100 to 1 or what it may be according to the application. So there is a bevel gears, everything. Every time when you start the motor, there is a tremendous jerk on the total tips of that gear, and one side of the gear faced more wear and tear. So it's a standard practice. After say a mechanical problem or the particular that mechanical maintenance person say, sir, I'm getting that thak 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 sound. So sir, maintenance karna padega. Break this gearbox off. So they have to take the shutdown. They will open the gearbox. They will see. They will replace the gear. In some type of gearbox, just you replace that. You change the direction. That means you reverse the gear. That your opposite teeth will be in the circuit, which is getting directly connected on that torque. So accordingly, but you have to do the maintenance. Now, suppose in year you need around 8 to 10 hours or 10, 12 hours of maintenance. Means you have to note or you have to accept the production loss of 10 to 10 hours. Now, instead of that, if we go for a soft starters for that particular motor, that motor will start from zero. So there will not be any, that is with the compact action on the gears, mechanical gears, teeth. And your this gearboxes works for a number of years. There is a long life. So your mechanical life has been extended. See, this can be achieved with the selection of proper electrical support. So that energy or a concept is a very, very, very wide spectrum. It depends upon how we look for this subject. So this usage of soft starter in particular applications, we are always using soft starters and we're getting fantastic results. See, I will give one example. In our starch industry, we are having this star dryers, which is having a standard 100 HP motor. They are having gearboxes. There is always maintenance problem in that gearbox. Particular after say particular months or a particular hours, what it may be. The, to remove that, to change the gear, bevel, everything. But after these systems, the maintenance become obsolete. So now next target, now we are talking about zero maintenance. Zero maintenance regarding electrical and all the things okay, but regarding mechanical, if you control the prime movers action, yes, you can go for the zero maintenance of mechanicals also. Now in case of drives for particular conveyor operations, so conveyor, if you want to control the speed or the feeding, yes, by means of drive. So this drive every fan, every fans, then your pumps, your conveyors. These are the very good opportunities for the VFDs. Then the mechanical equipments with having the gearbox are the good opportunity to use soft starters. So this assures the very long mechanical life without any maintenance, resulting reduction in maintenance cost, and higher production due to no downtime due to mechanical problems. So let us move to next slide. That is process continuity. In some of the continuous process industry, continuity is the heart of the total plant. Hence, failure of supply and irrespective of AMF system, the conveyor and the critical operations are stopped in this changeover process and it is to be manually restart, resulting in a rejection of the product or a batch. See, when we work out for the any design, we discuss with the client or it is necessary to understand the application that the requirement of the industry and the process. In chemical process, I forgot the name of that product because I'm not a chemical person. He told me that any stoppages more than 10 to 20 seconds, it will the viscosity will go high and it will become a stone and we have to really scrap that vessel also. So we need uninterrupted supply, means not a single second failure. So we have to select the equipment of such type of application, make a separate panel, and then we have to go for, we always suggest to go for the UPS. Yes, there will be DG, that auto mains failure system will be there. So instead of failure of supply, the DG will automatically get started, the changeover will get automatically occurred. But that changeover may take some 30 seconds to depends upon the number of starting. Suppose if generator could not start within a one cranking, it may take more time. So it depends upon. But that period is not. They don't accept that. In that case, we have to go for the UPS system. So every process or application they have to understand. Excuse me. Hence, the use of UPS for application is justified. This will drastically reduce the rejection and assure you for the rated output of the plant. I'll give an example. Whenever in old days, that time UPS were not in the picture. It was not popular, just not introduced in India also. I came across such type of application. There, they used to run parallel DG, and some application they used to run on only DG. Sir, we cannot depend upon the EB power. Suppose Egypt, our EB power goes off, our total lot will be get rejected. We cannot afford that. They used to have standby generator. After that particular batch, they used to take the shutdown. They used to change over the supply of another DG. I've seen such type of application. Now, this type of arrangement is not required. Just use go for the proper UPS. Of course, in such type of application, you have to go for standby UPS or you can go for the parallel UPS also. So in case of any failure, one UPS will go out, another will carry off. This is possible. This technology is possible now. So these are the electrical systems which we can adopt. So now I will move to next thing. Now let us come to the energy parameters. Steps to be taken for conservation. The first is creation of data. The very important part of this is to collect the data for instantaneous and cumulative electrical parameter. Now, what is instantaneous parameter? What is cumulative parameter? For example, if I ask somebody else, "Hey dear, what is the time?" He see the clock and say, "Sir, it is 12 o'clock." So that is the instantaneous parameter. If I ask him, "Hey dear, how much time we spend together?" Again he say the clock. No, we met at 11 o'clock. No, it is 12 o'clock. We were together. We are together for a 1 hour. So that is a cumulative. So in electrical parameter, active, reactive, and apparent power, that is kW, kVA, RKVA, are covered in instantaneous parameter. Another is ampere voltage frequency. That is a kVA, voltage ampere. Kilo means we consider in industry it is kilovolt. So kW, kVA, RKVA, that is lead, lag, ampere, voltage, frequency. These are instantaneous parameter. And cumulative parameter means kWh, kVAh, RKVAh, then RKVH lead and lag. Now these are the new parameters that are introduced, that is lead and lag reactive power. So these are our different parameters. Now I will move to next slide. Now here we will start about the energy audit and monitoring system. Energy audit is a electrical data recorded or a collected for that particular period or a time or instantaneous data. It may be part in the energy audit. There may be two parameters. One is the instant, that is your demand was so and so. That was that time demand was there. And cumulative parameter, that particular reading. See, energy audit, they may put for a 24 hours or a day or two, but you cannot round the clock or for 24 hours or for a long period you cannot provide those type of system. So accordingly they work out the data and accordingly they guide us. What are the lacuna, what are the mismatch in the parameters? It is recorded at condition of that time. Now in process or in system, if you're having a different type of production, different type of casting, different type of chemistry in your process industry, if you're doing the audit, suppose your A and B type product were going on, it may not be applicable for C and D also. The condition may vary and hence possibility of mismatched data collected or recorded. Of course, the energy auditor will never misguide you. He say that this is considering this your conditions. While energy monitoring system is collecting the data round the clock and it can be monitored and analyzed by the concerned person. Accordingly, corrective actions can be taken fast. Hence, power wastage can be prevented in time. Now, I can brief a lot on this slide or with all this slide. Now, energy audit is a must. It is a guideline for us where we are doing wrong or where what is our corrective actions to be taken. That is one part. But what should be the frequency of energy audit? Daily you cannot do. So the better option is you should have some monitoring system in your industry, that is in your electrical system. So now the advanced, this advanced generation of multifunction meters. Now we don't say energy meters, we say multifunction meters, where you will get all this cumulative as well as instantaneous parameter with connectivity. It may be with Modbus, Profibus or any connectivity, 485 RS4, what it may be. And good softwares are available. You can integrate any number of meters. And with the help of software, you can monitor your energy. Now, these energy meters are based on, there is a CT sense meter, the standard 5 ampere meters. So you can provide a CTs to your feeders. Now, where these meters can be provided, it depends. You can, if there is any junk load, it's a bigger motor, you can provide it for that bigger size motors, for your pump motors, for your departments, or your process industry. And you integrate all that meters with your Cat6, Cat5 or any communication cable, what it may be according to that standards, or simple this shielded twin core cable also work for some applications. With the help of repeaters, you can integrate n number of meters, it may be 300, 400, 500, it doesn't matter. You can take your data to your server or a central room. It can be monitored at any time. You can integrate your ERP with some different integration and software, and you can work out your own process cost for per process, cost for per department, cost for per shift, cost of month, and accordingly so on. Now when I am getting this data, then this total energy monitoring concept is, first of all, is creation of data. Unless until you unless until the data is created, you cannot analyze it. So the second step naturally comes is analysis of the data. So first of all, you provide the energy monitoring systems, you provide the multifunction meters, you integrate with communication, we take it to server, you provide some converters, then with the help of software, you collect all the data. I'll give an example of one of my project. We have integrated all the systems. The training has been given to that particular person who was used to monitor. The managing director, he was very young and very enthusiastic, very keen on the cost. Of course, one should be. I really appreciate his efforts. And he used to spend a lot of time on that energy monitoring system. After being on the industry for around say 9 or 10 months, he called me once and he said that, sir, now I have observed that in my crushing area, my consumption is increasing because my average crushing is around about say 150 to 160 tons. And normal, I know that I used to spend about 35 to 36, 37 units per ton for that crushing. Now it is getting more than 42, 45. I don't know what's wrong, sir. So how I should do that? How I can work out? I say, yes, it's a simple thing. Go in the graphics. In that software, there was option graph, and you will get a graph of that particular total 24 hours. You select the time, say yesterday's 8 of morning and today's 8 of morning. So for 24 hours, you will see the graph and just check the KW parameter. What is your KW parameter? So he said, sir, can you continue? I am on the PC only. Just I will start, I will check it. I said, okay, we'll continue. I spent about 20 minutes with him on this conversation. You opened that thing, you opened that graph. Then he said, sir, I observed that after around night 1 to 1:30 to around 5 o'clock, suddenly my KW goes down. Suddenly goes down. I said, what is your average KW? He said that, sir, sometimes it comes around 220, 210, something. It's a fluctuation because it's a feeding. So it varies. Okay, fine, but it is within the span of say around 30 kW, no? 30 to 35. Yes, sir. Between 210 to 240 kilowatt. Now, around midnight 1:30, it drastically comes to about around 110 or sometimes 90 to 92 or something like that. And very, very negligible. There's not much deviation. Again, it starts increasing by 4:30. I just laughed and said, sir, do you understood what it means? Sir, I'm confused. I don't know how this happened. Means your people are sleeping and machines are running on. So there is no feeding, so no load. So all your equipment are running on no load condition for this period. He got shocked. And the same night, just as our police department, he put a raid on his own factory with his team. Even he put security under his control, surveillance. He put one person in the security room. He has taken all the mobile of his security person He went with his own team of some 6 people, and around about 2:30 he sacked a contractor team of 20 people for that crushing department, and he appointed new contractor. And after appointing new contractor, his consumption again came into the control. See the things. This is a fantastic example I always give. What is he previously used to ask, सर मेरे को 10 लाख खर्चा करने का है, इसमें मेरे को क्या बेनिफिट होने वाला है, what is my payback? I say this is not a replacement of motor that I calculate this and payback is 8 months or 10 months or 1 year. See, this is a process. I don't know. You should be keen. You should find the opportunity. Means, see, there are two things. One is saving, another is losing. He used to lose the power. He has not saved, but he could stop the leakages in his power, in his energy. That is also one of the important aspect when we talk about energy monitoring system. But the only thing is, when you do or you adapt all the things, you should have a sufficient equipment, sufficient software, and you should have a right person. See, when you want to drive the Mercedes, your ordinary driver can't drive it. Or another problem of the industry is they need all the technologies, but they expect that my existing engineer should operate that. Again, this is not possible, dear. You should have an independent person. See, in our when we talk about energy auditor, like our coach sir, there is another concept, energy manager. This energy of this if energy bureau has there are two exams. One is energy manager, another is energy auditor. Energy manager means a person who is working in the industry. He knows all the things. He can manage all the systems. So if you want to do this, you should have a right person to operate this, to analyze this. Sorry. Now let us move to next page. The compiling of the data with product to work out the specific consumption of the product. This is to calculate the energy parameter with the product. That is department A units per ton, B units per ton, C units per ton, or other. It may be per ton, it may be per kg, it may be per meter, per kilometer, what it may be. This is to create specific consumption of the product section, that is product section wise, department wise, and total production, and particular units of tons of specific product. In this thing, I'll give another example of one of my client used to having a composite steel plant, that is a ingots plus rolling mill. I did this project in 97-98, and at that time the generation of energy meter was very different, very lower level of that time. Now I can say it was a lower generation because that time that was the advancement. That time we used to use the data logger and all the lot of different things of communication used to be required. And I suggested him that you use this thing. He asked me, Limesh sir, how will be my what will be my payback? Again my answer, sir ये payback का कुछ sum नहीं है. It will control your losses, rather I say. But after discussion, he has a full trust. Okay sir, go ahead with that. Now you will be surprised to know with this my example. After being on the industry hardly 5 to 6 months, he called me, when you are coming at this side, I have a very important topic to discuss with you. I say next month I'll be coming there in that area. I'll meet you. So I went his place. He called his director who used to see this thing or monitor this thing. He came with his write-up. He said, sir, I have a data. We have calculated the specific consumption of our product, and it was related with the rolling mill. हम जो सली बोलते हैं ना, सली, steel, TMT bars. He has to manufacture a lot of various size. Say, I don't know the exact, but it may be some 30 or 25 mm, 20 mm, something like that. The lowest side he used to manufacture 8 mm. He showed that the 8 mm means from ingots of say 75 or 80 mm ingot, the conversion up to 8 mm, he used to pass that bar for the number of passes, for the number of dies. So it takes to it it used to take a lot of time. Say the 25 mm bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repeaters, it used to come out. For lesser diameter, the repeater used to be get added. For 8 mm, the highest, the number of maximum repeaters used to be in the system, and the 8 mm used to come out. So the consumption for 8 mm used to be more because time and repeaters, load, conversion, everything. And he have worked out with the specific consumption. See, in this steel mills, you cannot change the diameter or a frequently. They used to provide die some particular, and they are having that sufficient data. So he has worked out with the specific consumption of every size, and he came with the conclusion that, sir, if I work out the cost of 8 mm product, मेरा सेलिंग कॉस्ट और मेरा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट में 400 रुपए का डिफरेंस आता है, मेरा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट 400 रुपए बढ़ता है. He could conclude that my manufacturing cost is more than 400 rupees than my selling cost. So for last 7 months, I am in total loss for this particular size. What he did, he in that rolling mill, the lot of scrap he used to get. He made the contract with one re-rolling mill person. Rolling and re-rolling. Re-rolling means they only manufacture small sizes and it is manufactured from the scrap. Then he used to give the scrap to that person and he used to get the conversion and he used to pay the conversion charges per ton. And after that system, he concluded that in this process, I am getting around 300 rupees profit in 8 mm. Previously, he used to spend 300 rupees. So this is the effect of energy monitoring system. Always it is not related with power saving, it is also related with saving your losses. So now let us go to next slide. That is the analyzing of data. When data is generated, then the readings are to be studied thoroughly. That is for department wise, the specific consumption recorded, that is XYZ units per ton or what may be. But someday you may observe that it is increasing, and why it is so. You have to find out and control the things to bring it in the control level. Suppose in our say in drying section where we are having a 100 HP motor, the specific consumption goes high. We always used to say that, sir, आपका consumption बढ़ गया है. And there is another one misconception. When consumption goes high, always electrical person is fired. तुम्हारा consumption ज़्यादा आ रहा है, तुम्हारा सब system में गड़बड़ है, अब देखो. See, when you start the equipment, electrical motor or electrical person don't have any authority to control its consumption. It is controlled by the driving end. That is your mechanical system, your gearbox, your machine, your ball mill, your fan, your pump, what it may be. So all mechanical problems, it may be your belt, it may be your oil, what lubrication system, all mechanical systems are get reflected on your electrical parameters, electrical readings. So this analyzing data and monitoring is very important, by which now in our projects, with this monitoring, we decide the schedule of mechanical maintenance. Now, see, after this continuation of this system, the people are so intelligent. I'm really happy that how they monitor the system and how they work out their own systems on that. That is very important. Now they say that, sir, we have this means with the time factor, they consider that, sir, this mechanical problem always be faced after some around 2,000 hours. Now we have provided hour meters for that particular this machine equipment, and after 2,000 hours or 1,900 hours, we don't wait, we carry out the mechanical maintenance. See, these are the systems. So you can correlate your mechanical maintenance with the monitoring of your all these electrical parameters. Now, saving opportunities. After generation of the data and its analyzing, one has to find the opportunity in what way he can either reduce the consumption or to increase the production with some modification process, or to go for automation, which will reduce manpower. Another example I will give, it is the example of solvent plant. I did one solvent plant, and he told me that we have got one person agency. He told that he will make some changes in our mm, preparatory sections, and he assured that our production will be increased. Our 150 ton crushing capacity, he is assured that it will be increased by around 15 to 20 tons per day. So more than 10%. I say it is good. If it is so, you should go that. But also monitor your specific consumption, because आपको मालूम है आपका पर टन कितना आता है. Yes, yes, बोलता है. It is around 160-165 tons we are getting that data. Now, you'll be surprised. He has spent 50 lakhs on some modification. He has added a lot of equipment, and his production capacity has been increased around from 150. Okay, I have been asked to, there's a problem in my network, so I have been advised by the system that.
Okay, sir, you have covered most of the part actually. Now you can do one thing, you can make camera off and we'll ask, so any doubts we'll ask the questions. Otherwise all will get disconnected. Very nicely you have covered most of the parts, sir. All the basics, you have started from the start to end, again to out actually, so many things, even opportunities. I think again it has disconnected. Are you there or disconnected, sir? I think disconnected. Jamadar sir, Chetan Patil sir. सगळंच कट झालं. हॅलो जमादार सर, चेतन पाटील सर.
हा सर, ऐकू येतंय?
हा, नाव इट्स फाईन सर. हा
हा, नाही मगाशी काहीतरी मला इथं आलं की नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लेम, म्हणून मी व्हिडिओ बंद केला आता.
हा, इट इज हॅपनिंग मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम ऍक्च्युअली. लास्ट यस्टरडे ऑल्सो इट हॅपन्स.
पण चालू होतं, चौधरी साहेबांच्या सुद्धा शेवटी काहीतरी अडचण झाली होती.
ठीक आहे, अडचण आली होती.
बरं मी काय करतो, मग व्हिडिओ बंदच ठेवू का?
बंदच ठेवा थोडा. आणि कसं झालंय, बऱ्याच गोष्टी तुम्ही कव्हर केलाय काय, खूप छान झालंय. Very nice, you have covered starting most of the points actually. If suppose anybody has any question answer, that also will ask sir. Otherwise that main part will.
मी आता एक दोन, I will sum up within 3 to 4 minutes.
Great. That would better sir. First go through this. You take your own time and then we'll ask them to questions.
Now,
please sir, please.
How to start? To make a separate team for different department like electrical, commercial and administration person, to fix the period of the coordination meeting. Then one person shall be given the responsibility. Even we suggest last line, get the suggestions from the working staff related with energy opportunities. See, many industries have seen this system is followed. They put the notice or a board if you have any suggestions in power saving opportunities, you will get rewarded. So accordingly, people come with some different ideas. Say out of 10, 9 may be useless, but one of the idea may stuck, click, and they can go ahead with this thing. Then opportunity in saving power, no, it's a sum up. Selection of proper drive, usage of VFD wherever possible, use of high efficiency transformer motors, switching of ideal running motors or equipment, providing of interlocking systems in control, usage of automation, reducing the idle time of the process, regular feedback and corrective actions. I think this is my presentation. Now I open for the discussion. If anybody is having any doubt or any questions, I will try to answer at my level. Thank you.
Great, sir. Great. It was really indeed wonderful session, sir. You have covered most of the part, which we were expecting as an initial start of the session. It was very good opening batsman, as good as you can say that you have done century, scored century there. Just I request participants to ask, unmute and directly also ask them. Even you can put on the chat box. Chetan Bhatt sir, just check. Jamadar sir. And Limesh sir, even what happens, all the group is heterogeneous group. Most of them are from mechanical, electrical, some other departments also. Sometimes it is very difficult to understand all this, your procedure, what you're told, and to ask questions. Also, sometimes it happens. Hello, Jamadar sir.
Screen मोठा करायचा कसं करायचं पूर्ण? हाँ सर. हॅलो सर, आवाज ऐकू येतोय का माझा? स्क्रीन चालू करायला पाहिजे का? सर, माझा आवाज येतोय?
हाँ सर, यू आर ऑडिबल.
हाँ, या. So anybody want to ask anything? I will try to answer at my level.
Is there any question from the participants? You can ask directly by unmute yourself, or you can put the question in chat box also.
Fantastic. I'm happy that no doubts.
Is there any question from participants, please?
And sir, it could happen, such a kind of presentation could happen only with exemplary experience. It is not so easy to cover most of the part within that 1.5 hours. It's not so easy. It is because of all were case studies. Most of them were case studies you added here and there everywhere. It was supported with the case studies actually.
All these are practically faced by me.
Correct.
Or witnessed by me.
And that too, I think
all covered in my own project.
Correct. I think that experience might be of 4 decades, no? 3 to 4 decades.
Yeah, I started in 1980, so I'm.
That's almost you completed 4 decades.
My field experience is about 44 years, and my experience in VL is 40 years. And I'm proud to say that we did more than 600 projects in the span of this period.
Total 600. Great. Number is big hits. And so we'll be in touch with you, sir. We'll
Yeah,
meet
sure,
that you
sir.
will do some good activities. Whenever we need your support, help, always we'll call without any hesitation. Always we are
Yeah.
calling, rather we are.
Okay, from my side, I really, first of all, I appreciate for such type of arrangement or a seminar organized by SIT. Thanks, Coach sir and your entire team who made this successful. Thanks for the all attendant who are very patient, and nobody has troubled me by asking any questions. So thanks for that also. So I think I'm over now.
Yeah, just Chetan Bhatt sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing a lot of knowledge regarding the energy conservation in the different electrical devices. Really, this will be helpful for all of us. Thank you very much, sir. Now I conclude that this session is over. Then
Namaste, sir.
next session will start on 2 p.m. Thank you, one and all.
Sir.
Thank you very much.
Limesh sir, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Good day,
Thank you.
everyone. Take care.
खूप
Bye
आनंद
bye.
झाला, खूप छान झालं sir.
Thank you.
Yes. Next dot at 2 will start, sir, because that we have given some additional task to that JS sir. So we'll start
Okay,
at
okay,
dot
sir.
2. Please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay. लिमे सर, आपण आहात काय?
I think he left, sir.